The starting point in human design is your energy type. We're actually all built to function very differently, with different skills and different ways that our energy works. So we need to align with that rather than do things the way that the world tells us we need to do things. When we do, we create success and happiness with so much more ease. And it's more enjoyable because it's the way our souls actually crave doing life. Your energy type tells you how you're built to operate, and it's arguably the most important aspect of your design. Your energy type is what we call a generator. Let's get into what that means. A generator's purpose is to create good energy in the world. As the name suggests, you're here to generate energy. Whenever you do something that makes you happy, excited, and lit up, you create so much good energy that it literally spills out of you and into everyone around you. Being lit up is your highest calling because when you're happy and excited, it inspires, fuels, and lifts everyone else up around you without you even trying. When you're excited, you become full of life. This energy can't help but spill out of you into everything and everyone you come across. This is the magic of a generator. When a generator is lit up, they have such juicy, sparkly energy that everyone wants to be around you, even if they can't explain why. When you're following your desires, you feel like you could go and go all day without feeling tired because you're generating this good energy. This is the universe telling you you're in your flow. Because of this, when a generator does what they love, everyone wins. If you want to live your purpose, do more things that actually excite you and less things that don't. If you want to help others, know that the universe has given you specific passions that you're meant to follow in order to live as your highest version. The things that light you up aren't random. They're specifically exciting to you because you're meant to be doing them. Your lit upness makes other people more energized, excited, productive, and gives them momentum in their own life. So no matter what job title you may have on the outside, the real value you're providing is that you're infusing the world with life force. When you're doing something that you're not so jazzed about, you'll feel drained and tired. This is life's way of trying to prevent you from doing more of it and show you that it's not what you're meant to be spending your time on. The biggest conditioning for generators is the praise you get from others for doing things you don't want to do, perhaps because it benefits them in some way. For example, maybe your parents said well done for going to see your grandma when you didn't really want to as a kid, or your friend relies on your generator energy to help them move home or make a group of people gel together. However, this only backfires because when you're not excited, you don't create that juicy, sparkly energy, which is what they actually really want. Sure, you can go through the motions of helping them move, but it won't have elevated the energy of the situation for either of you. And if you're not excited to do it, it suggests that the universe has a better option for the other person too. Saying no. When you trust that your excitement is divine guidance, it's actually the best thing you can do for everyone involved. When you say no, maybe the other person is meant to find a better person to help them with that, or figure it out themselves and realize they're more capable than they thought, or come up with a more creative solution, or be forced to do things in a new way that actually benefits them more. You never know just how you're helping the situation by saying no, but your excitement, or lack thereof, will always be leading you to the best outcome. When you want to bring more good things into your life, sometimes the most powerful thing a generator can do is say no more. Saying no clears things off your plate that don't light you up, which creates space in your life for the universe to start sending you more of what does. The universe loves to fill an empty space because you're sending the signal that you want better, and it will rush to come and help you fill it. If you're saying yes to everything, there's no space for the things you truly desire to come into your life. When you're in a place where you want to make changes, you don't have to figure out what new things to do so much as stop keeping yourself busy with things that don't make you happy. The fear of doing nothing. The reason why generators are afraid to start saying no is because of that praise for all the doing they got over the course of their lives. And they're afraid that if they're less busy rushing around, even for a hot second, then good things won't come to them. Life wants to see if you're brave enough to go against these false beliefs and be open to working with your joy and not against it. After removing the no's, you might be less occupied, but trust me, it will only be temporary. Use that open space to look around. Life is happening all around you, and it's full of things that might please and delight you. You couldn't see those when you were busying yourself with things you thought you had to do. But now, you've opened yourself up to start seeing things that the universe has been trying to get you to see all along. How do you know if something excites you? Excitement and desire comes from your gut, which is the most important part of a generator's chart. It's the body part that rules your energy. When something comes your way that's exciting to you, whether that's a meal, a job, or a lover, your energy perks up and expands. You can literally feel it in your gut, in your body, and people around you pick up on that. whether they know it consciously or not. It makes them want to be around you, work with you, buy whatever you're selling, or just hug you. This in turn kicks off a chain of opportunities and synchronicities between you and the world. So you don't actually have to figure out what to do in advance. You just have to activate the process by saying yes to what excites you. Life is constantly sending you things that you might like and want. Your job is to notice the involuntary excitement response within you and then to reach out and take it. Whether that's do it, create it, eat it, use it, play with it, buy it, whatever it is, excitement is always about the action and not about the end result. So make sure you do something because it genuinely excites you, rather than doing it because you think it's the only way to get you an end result that you desire. If you suppress your own happiness because you think you have to in order to get to a certain goal, it will never end well. Because the truth is, it's not your job to think about end results. If you pave the way there with what makes you happy and excited, you'll create the best outcome, even if you don't yet know what that is. Ultimately, the things you love to do are the very things that will lead you right to your dream life, and you just need to trust that. Gut intuition. The gut is about desire. It knows when it wants something and it knows when it doesn't. It's not based in logic and it can't be explained. When life sends you something it wants you to do, you'll feel a rush of excitement through your whole body. This is your cue to say yes to it and to pursue it. These visceral, physical pulls you feel towards things are the universe's way of showing you that those things are the right decision. Now, the gut is black and white. It doesn't know maybe. So you'll either feel, yes, I want it, or if you're not meant to do it, you can feel anything from strongly repelled to just meh. If something lights you up when you first come across it, that's your way of knowing you're meant to be doing it. You will literally feel your body respond to something before you've processed it mentally. You'll feel your body get revved up, or you may perk up, make involuntary sounds that express interest and excitement, or just feel that feeling of wanting that thing. Trust your wants. Society has told us that it's bad to want things, to desire things. We've been told it's better to go for things that make logical sense, rather than just because we want them. But for you, the wanting is your sacred sign that will never lead you the wrong way. Learning to trust your physical attraction to something or your repulsion to it will eliminate so much confusion and light the path ahead of you with so much clarity and simplicity. Making decisions easier. Since the gut speaks the language of yes and no, black and white, it's so challenging for your gut to give you answers to big open-ended questions like, what's my purpose? Or even, where do I want to go for dinner? It needs options to be put in front of it that it can then react to. So try asking things like, does a career in fitness sound good to me, yes or no? Or would I prefer sushi or Thai tonight? If someone is asking you an open-ended question, you can always run through the options in your head, asking yourself these yes or no questions. Or have the people close to you ask the questions differently to ensure smoother communication between you. When you can't tell what your gut's saying. If you're ever feeling hesitant or mixed, it's either because A, your gut has spoken, but for some reason you're not comfortable with that response. This is when your gut directly opposes your conditioning and they're at odds. In this situation, you don't always have to act on your gut, at least not in the beginning, but just acknowledge what the gut is saying. When you pay attention to what it was saying, in hindsight, you'll start to see that it was right, which will make it easier to eventually follow the gut. You'll build up a bank of evidence to show you that the gut was better than the oh buts and the what ifs. It's like you turn the volume up on your gut and down on your conditioning and fears bit by bit so that following your gut becomes your new default pattern. Or B, you're overriding what the gut is telling you by thinking about it in your mind. Sometimes you can't feel your physical wants because logic has been so drummed into us that it's the voice we hear the loudest. We've been taught the mind should be in charge of all our life decisions, but the mind can only conceive of what it already knows. Whereas the body is leading you towards possibilities that you might not even be able to fathom, but that are so much more fulfilling and aligned. Trust that the only way you can create a life on joy is by following your joy on the way there. In order to make the right decisions, you don't need to know why you gravitate towards certain things and not to others. You just need to experiment with following that more, even when you have no idea how it gets you closer to your dream life. The more you practice it, the more you'll see the tangible results in your own life, and then it becomes easier and easier to follow that gut over time. Your personality is a self-motivated hero, also known as a 5-2. The first number describes the way you see yourself, and the second number is the way others see you. It actually serves us to have our own internal world that's not so obvious to others, and an external side of us for the physical world. Let's go into each one and how they come together to form your full personality. 5. The Liberator. You have a save-the-day energy about you. You love to help people, whether it's strangers or loved ones. You value everyone equally. Because of this, and because you're naturally outgoing, people subconsciously sense that you can help them, guide them, or lead them. Sometimes they might put that expectation on you, whether they know they're doing it or not. Your work as a liberator is to discern which situations are yours to fix and save, and which ones are not. Just because you can fix it, it doesn't mean you should fix it. The right things to do are situations you feel are a good fit for you to apply your gifts to, and situations you're actually excited to participate in. Sometimes liberators try to fix everything because they want to make everyone happy. But if you step in and fix things for approval and recognition, you'll only deplete yourself and become your not self. When you're doing something that you actually want to do, it means it's correct for you. And when you're stepping in and improving the correct situations, they'll actually give you a burst of energy. In close relationships, it's important for you to feel like you're valued for things other than just sorting everything out for people. You might not even know who you are without trying to save people, but only by letting go of this compulsion will you start to see the other types of exchanges you can have between you and the people you love. 2. The Natural. You come across as a natural, which means there are certain things you seem to be effortlessly good at without really knowing how you came to be good at those things, or being able to describe to other people how you do it. There's a pressure in this world to validate or explain how you're qualified to do those things, but don't bend to that pressure. In fact, the more people like you are honest about how it comes easy to you, the more we'll actually realize that we don't need to earn things as much as our society's told us. Coming into your genius is not about learning from the outside world. It's already in you without you really knowing how it got there. When you're doing these things that come easy to you, you slip into this zone where your gifts just seem to come out of you. There's an unaware quality in doing what you do, almost as if it happens without you consciously making it happen. In this way, doing your gifts is quite an unconscious process and takes care of itself as long as you've created the time and space where getting in the zone is possible. However, since it's an unaware process, it's usually easier for others to spot your genius than it is for you. So naturals tend to require feedback from the outside world to figure out what they're good at. When you're in your zone doing your thing, you don't like to be disturbed or interrupted because you need to be fully devoting yourself to your craft without being thrown off track. So there is a little bit of a hermit side to you, as it's only through that you can develop your gifts to their fullest. When you do find yourself feeling disturbed though, you can reframe it by remembering that people aren't usually trying to disturb you on purpose, and also communicating clearly to them when you do want to be in solo mode. When the 5 and the 2 come together. You are a brilliant and effortless fixer and solver, here to serve humanity, backed by your big, altruistic heart. You're the one who loves to swoop in and make things better for people, and also you seem to do it with so much ease. Making things better is just obvious to you, and that's your gift. But whilst helping others is what you live for, you also seek a lot of alone time. Learning when to do which is the key to creating a healthy and successful life. Because it's so easy for you to help and lift others, it can be hard to believe the fact that there is a real vulnerability to you. You're prone to questioning yourself a lot, and ultimately, this is what you came here to overcome. Before others discover your genius, you have to discover it yourself and put it out there. It's very important that you don't expect the world to discover you, or you'll wait forever and it will only make you want to detach yourself further from the world. Like your name suggests, the self-motivated hero, no amount of recognition or validation from others will get you going. You came here to believe in yourself and be your own motivator. Remember that the 5 in you is subject to many projections, and if you feel the pressure of too many of them with no self-recognition in place yet, you'll be tempted to just give up or not bother. Don't ever throw in the towel. We need you to keep going because you really are here to be a hero. This will be the thing that both heals you and heals other people. The alone time you need is mostly important for your body to stay in good health. So don't allow your mind to take over your alone time, let's say with overthinking, worrying, and projection, as this will deplete rather than restore you. The alone time is for the body, and getting involved in life is the part that soothes your mind and also boosts your self-confidence. Getting over your fears of your own image and abilities and your high standard of them is your karma, but no amount of thinking will solve it. You have to demonstrate your own abilities to yourself by just giving it a go. The pressure you feel from others is actually irrelevant, and this will only trigger you for as long as you have pressure and expectations on yourself. Those triggers are not a bad thing. They're just pointing you to the next place where you can self-examine. You have strong ideals, and beautiful things can be born out of these ideals. You can use them to create and encourage excellence in the world. As long as you don't overly fantasize about life or others, it's actually good to hold strong to these ideals of how good we can all be. When you believe in it, you make it easier for others to believe in it too, and half the work of creating an ideal world is having faith in it. You have a transpersonal karma, which means you'll feel most worthy when you're contributing to others. Know that the recognition you crave will come the more you see your natural talents as being valuable, and just start putting them out there and really owning them. It's not other people's responsibility to tell you you're great, it's yours. But ironically enough, when you value those natural gifts you were given, others pick up on that and will value you for those too. You have a karma of letting go of what other people think, which is difficult because you hold yourself to such a high standard. It's time to value yourself. This will be the most healing thing you do and the key to having everything else you desire come to you. In close relationships, you may find you seek feedback that people aren't always able to give. But just because they won't always be in a space to give it, it's not necessarily that anything's wrong in your dynamic. You open yourself up more for feedback when you show your vulnerability and softness rather than talking about your performance like a science project. People respond best to that big, soft heart. Also in relationships, remember that changing and fixing things is easy and obvious to you, but it isn't to everyone else, so don't allow yourself to get frustrated at other people's pace. The key with being a 5-2 is marrying your effortless brilliance with your huge care for helping humanity, and when you do, that's your gold. Your strategy is the way you make things happen in your life, how you go about making your dream life real, how you manifest. The world has taught us that we have to push and force things to happen, but you have a unique way of drawing your dreams to you that will feel much more easeful and fun. Plus, it will actually get you so much quicker results when you do it because you're doing it in the way that you're meant to be doing it. Your strategy is responding. The universe is constantly sending you clues and signs of what to do based on what excites you, gives you that full body yes, and what doesn't. Responding is about only doing things that come across your path that you can literally feel that full body yes to. When something is meant for you, your gut will literally respond to it. You will feel physically drawn to that thing. Think of life as one big buffet. It's full of ideas and suggestions and options that might please you. Responding is noticing all the things you see and come across that make you think, I like that, or I want that, or I wish I could have that. And if you do like it and want it, say yes to it. Go do it, create it for yourself, bring more of it into your life, because doing it is what the universe wants you to do next. These could be direct, like opportunities and invites that come your way, or indirect, like things you see around you, things you see other people doing, what you see on social media, characters on TV shows. They're all there on purpose to lead you right to your purpose. The answers are all around you. You don't have to figure out what you want. It's the outside world that will give you the clues of what you're into or not, based on how you respond to it. You're not meant to just know what you want out of thin air. You have to have an outside stimulus to respond to. You don't have to push, force, or make it happen. You just have to fully throw your energy into the things that your gut responds to and not do the things that don't. And when you're open, the universe will put the things that are meant for you right in front of your eyes. The key to your dream life is not only saying yes to things that light you up, but also saying no to things that don't. When you say no to the things that don't, you actually create more space for the potential yeses to come in. Your decisions are black and white. It's important for you to know that your gut is black and white. It doesn't do gray area. So for you, you're either excited about it or you're not. Unless you feel a full body yes, the answer is actually no. You do not deal in maybes. Because the gut is black and white, it also doesn't deal in open-ended questions. So if you've asked yourself before, what lights me up? Don't be surprised if your gut hasn't come up with the answer. But if you ask yourself, does forecasting light me up? Does event planning light me up? Does organization light me up? You'll definitely know the answer to that. You can use the this or that, yes or no questions to direct you with anything in life, whether big or small. So instead of asking yourself what takeout you feel for dinner tonight, ask yourself if you want sushi or Mexican. The more you can make sure that everything in your life is there because it gives you that hell yes response, the more aligned you become. The universe makes you respond yes to the things it wants you to do. The universe doesn't see the difference between you saying yes to the takeout that lights you up and yes to the job that lights you up. Following your lit upness will always create more lit upness. What to do when it feels like life isn't sending you things to respond to. Take a look around your life and ask if each thing in it lights you up or not. If it doesn't, start by just being honest with yourself about it, as that will align you to the truth of how you feel. And from there, the universe is clear on your feelings, so it can swoop in and start to help you by putting new opportunities and clues on your path. The more you get rid of around you that doesn't light you up, the more space you will have to notice things that might. It's like you give yourself a bigger pair of glasses with which to see. And then start to look around at whatever else is going on in the world around you and keep asking your gut, would this be exciting to you if you had it? And then pursue those wants. Put energy into bringing them into your own life. If you get a hell yes, you have full permission to funnel all your life force into it. Always trust the feeling of wanting as a good thing because it's pointing you right towards the life you're supposed to have. Your sign is the feeling you have when you're living your design. It's a no-fail way that the universe can signal to you that you're on the right track. When you're using your energy correctly, you will always feel your sign come up in your life. So you never have to do any guesswork to know whether you're in alignment or not. Your sign will be there to show you. Your sign is satisfaction. Satisfaction is feeling lit up by life. This is that feeling you get when you're living a full life, one where each day is filled with things that please you, big and small, that you have consciously chosen. Like your perfect coffee in the morning, the buzz in your work life, a warm cuddle with your loved ones, the tennis game that makes you feel alive, and the good kind of crazy days that make you feel invigorated. When you string these moments together where you feel so content in each, you get to the end of your day and you can't help but let out like a good kind of satisfied sigh. One that means you've used your energy up in a good way today. It brought back some awesome returns and you're fully ready to check out, hit the pillow, and be so psyched to do it all over again tomorrow. The not self is the feeling we get whenever we're not living our design. Life gives you this not self feeling so that you can always tell when you're getting off track, so that you can then redirect quickly back to using your energy the way that you're meant to. Your not self is frustration. If you're living your design, saying yes to things that light you up and no to the things that don't, you create a steady flow of excitement in your life, which then magnetizes people and opportunities to you. The opposite of energy flowing is energy stagnating. This creates a feeling of being stuck and not being able to move forward in things even if you try. This is the true definition of frustration, attempting or reaching for something but it not happening. Frustration can show up as literal frustration or irritation, feeling stuck, feeling uninspired, blah, or incapable. This is always a sign showing you that you have the power to change your situation by changing one of your thoughts or behaviors around this situation. Here's how frustration can look in your thoughts. Nothing is happening. This is not going the way I want. I'm so bored. I'm so over this. I'm being made or forced to do this, but I don't want to. Thinking, I have all these obligations and maybe they're starting to weigh heavy on me. I want to shake them off and be free. I feel like I'm having the life sucked out of me. I'm feeling pulled in all these different directions. It seems like everyone else is doing what they love, but nothing is coming to me, or I can't seem to do that. I should be able to create happiness, but I just can't. I have no energy to do what I dream of. What's the point of all of this? Why does it feel like I'm walking through mud and taking so much effort to get things going? Or simply, I'm just so tired. Remember that this is not your true self. This is your not self, aka life showing you that it's time to live your design a little bit more, which will get you right back into your sign, which is satisfaction. You are here to be lit up and excited by life. This is your real nature. And whenever you see your not self, you can always rise higher into the life you really want to have by turning it around. Non-specific manifesting. Manifesting refers to your way of bringing things you want into your reality. You're designed to manifest in a non-specific way, which is a method that's very new to the world. Traditionally, we tell people to get clear on exactly what they want, down to a T, to make vision boards or to write lists. This style is very much about the person and what the person wants. We get told, if you don't know what you want, you'll never get it. But this is not true for you. You can and are meant to have beautiful things happen in your life without you having asked for them or wanted them specifically. Your work is to have a general idea of what you like and then to stay open to how the universe will fill in the details of that manifestation, because they're so much greater than what you could even imagine yourself. So when we say a general idea, let's say you want a career as a journalist. You don't have to know which magazine is your ideal one. You'll be guided to the right one when you leave it to the universe. You just have to point it in the right direction by knowing the essence of what you want. The feeling is more important than the details. So in manifesting that career in journalism, you just have to be clear that you want to work in a place that enables you to feel valued, allows you to write things you want, be filled with people that inspire you, etc., whatever that is. You're getting clear on the core essence of the thing you want rather than worrying about how it has to look. Sure, you can manifest specific things, but have you ever worked to get something you thought you really wanted, but it didn't make you feel how you hoped it would make you feel when you got it? This is just a reminder to focus on the feeling and let the universe send you the exact thing that will make you feel that way. Resist the world pressuring you to have your vision all planned out. A lot of non-specifics get pulled out of their natural way of doing things because we live in a world that is always asking us to describe and quantify where we're heading. But you're not supposed to know. You're not meant to have the 5-year plan. The only thing you ever have to do is have the general idea, the general feeling. For you, whenever you get very set on something turning out in a specific way, it's like putting blinders on, which narrows down what can come to you and may shut down the most ideal outcome from coming to you. You're not meant to know what you want in such a detailed and specific way. It's a practice in letting go of control when it comes to your dreams and really understanding that you're not totally in charge. You create your dreams with the universe. You just have to get in touch with what your soul really truly wants. And then instead of trying to figure out how it will unfold, stay open to being surprised and delighted. Every human lifetime has a different theme. Your life theme describes the main energy you're meant to bring into everything you do. It's called a theme because it's meant to run through all the areas of your life. The same mix of skills and essence will bring you success and alignment, whether you're at home, with friends, at work, in the grocery store. When you live according to your life theme, that's when you know you're on the road to your purpose. So as far as the universe is concerned, your purpose isn't just achieved at work. The universe doesn't compartmentalize like that. It wants to see you sharing your specific essence everywhere you go. When you bring your essence to the table, you signal to the universe and to people around you that you're being who you're meant to be. This is when people gravitate towards you the most, when opportunities and synchronicities flood to you, because you're simply being the person you came here to be. So all the good things that are meant for you finally fit. Let's get into the theme of your life. The left angle cross of distraction 2. To balance progress with common sense. You're here to make sure that progress is well thought through and considered before being made. This is your special skill, being able to really analyze and optimize the things we're thinking about changing. Oftentimes, people just want to rush into the new, but you're here to bring balance to the process so that any changes we make are actually beneficial ones. You care a lot about people and want the best outcomes for us, so you've been given this gift as a way of ensuring that the things we choose to do will serve us well. Your digestion is consecutive appetite. The simpler you eat, the better. Your digestive pattern is the same as our early ancestors who ate very simply and naturally. If they came across a mango tree, their meal would just be a bunch of mangoes. This is the same for you. You thrive off keeping things basic and pared down without too much variety in any given meal. Your food. The most important thing to know is that being selective about what you eat is a good thing for you. When you have lots of options of what to eat, choose the things that are really worth it to you and then eat those and only those. The more you can take out what's not necessary, the better. If you're having peas and asparagus as your vegetable sides, for example, don't force yourself to have a few carrots because they're healthy or because you should try and get as much variety in as possible. Those things just aren't true for you. So even though society says, for example, that a salad with 25 things in it is better for you, it will always drain your system. When you do have a more complex meal, you're best off finishing one food in your meal and then moving on to the next one. Embracing the simple way. It can be difficult for this digestive type because society equates complicated food with good food. But simple doesn't mean it can't be gourmet. And if you love gourmet, find a way to make this way of eating gourmet. You can make a beautiful plate of a few things the way the Mediterraneans do, for example. Maybe it's hard for you to even see how you might be built for a more simple way of eating. If this is you, the only way you'll know is by giving it a go. You'll know that it's right if after some time doing it, you feel so much clearer, energized, and at peace. Plus, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can just simplify your meals a little bit more than you did yesterday and get great results. If you don't like the idea of simplifying your meals because it feels limiting, tell yourself you're actually just choosing the things that most excite you to eat and allowing yourself to really enjoy those. And that tomorrow, all the food options in the world will still be available and you can choose which ones appeal to you the most then. Your brain. With this digestive pattern, it also means that when you simplify and strip down the information that comes into your brain, it's easy for you to think clearly and be in your genius. We digest information and process the world around us the exact same way we digest and process food in our bodies. So for you, you need to take in the outside world in a very simple fashion. When you do, your brain functions at its peak, which makes it very easy for your gifts and genius to develop, whatever that is. Eating patterns. Your brain is very active, so it uses up a lot of your daily calorie intake. If you want to fast, be sure not to undereat, simply for the reason that when you do, it hinders the development of your genius for that day. You'll also do well eating consistently, meaning that your food regime should look the same or similar from one day to the next. So, for example, if you decide a fruit-based breakfast works well for you, aim to do that every morning at around the same kind of time. Consistency for you actually eliminates stress and overthinking, so when you automate it, it gives you freedom for your brain to focus on the things that actually move your life forward. Your strongest sense in human design is smell, which means you have the gift of discernment that you're here to bring. Of all the 6 senses, each one of us has one that's dominant. It's a sense that when heightened makes you feel most alive. It's kind of like your love language with the world. Each sense has its own language, and when you speak your language, people receive your gifts the most deeply. It makes whatever you do more effective and valuable. You also absorb information from the outside world the best when you're taking it in through that sense. With your gifts. Energetically, the nose represents fine and accurate judgment. You're here to sniff things out, follow the scent, smell a rat from a mile away. Being on the nose also means that you strive for accuracy and precision. Your incredible discernment is that main thing that will help you develop your gifts, so try to be constantly developing it. You can sense when something is off. You like to sniff out the truth and separate the flowers from the weeds. No matter what area of life you do this, people are looking for you to keep refining your discernment and pour that into whatever you do. You need to have a totally clear nose, literally and figuratively, in order to have the most clear insights. So anything that makes your nose blocked or stuffy will literally be stopping you from being in your genius. You won't be able to hit the nail on the head in the way that you have the ability to. Pay attention to what foods, substances, and fragrances clog you up. Feeling like you can breathe big and open breaths creates a clear channel for you to be in your brilliance. You know that face we make sometimes when we scrunch up our nose when we don't like something? That's the energy you'll feel when you encounter something that's not right, for you or for an outside situation. Don't be afraid to be a bit picky. You're not meant to just accept and like everything. Remember, people will be coming to you to tell them what's good, what's right, what's helpful, what's relevant and true. In your personal life. Because clarity is so important to you, in relationships you hate being lied to or things being hidden from you. Clarity and honesty is extra important, and discussing interesting topics with others, where you get to refine what you think about things, whether good or bad, right or wrong, is fun for you. It's actually good for you to get involved in healthy debate, healthy disagreement, and to soak up many different viewpoints because it helps you refine your own. You love people who are engaged in the world and expressing their viewpoints because it helps you get into your zone of genius. Setting up your life. Try to create a practice of deep breathing, whether that's formal like a breathwork ritual or just reminding yourself through the day to breathe deeply. Doing this is like an energetic tune-up for you. Also, create scents that make you feel good. Surround yourself by candles, burn essential oils or sage. Wear a scent that makes you feel like you. Try and cut out products containing the ingredient fragrance from your home, as it messes with your natural nose. Every scent sets a different tone, so you can use scent to prime your brain for whatever you need to do, to get focused, to relax, to wake up, to wind down, whatever it is. With food. Smell prepares your body to digest the food. This is a mechanism that's deeply connected to survival because our ancestors could tell if something was okay to eat based on how it smelled. You can tell when something is going to be right for your body based on if you like how it smells. So when you cook, make sure the aromas come through. When grocery shopping, buy loose produce without the packaging on if possible so you can smell it. When you look at a dish, it's easy for you to imagine what it smells like, which makes it easier for you to get what it's going to taste like. So don't be afraid to check out what other people are eating in a restaurant to help you figure out what you want. We live in a world that is so full of information and options that actually the challenge we face is knowing what to include in our lives and what to leave out. With smell as your strongest sense, you are primed to help us discern and sort the truth from the non-truth, the pure from the corrupt, the helpful from the unhelpful in this world, in the specific areas of life you love. We need you to help us sniff out the truth. How your emotions function. You're what we call a non-emotional in human design. Being non-emotional means that your natural state is cool, calm, and collected. You only feel things when something is happening around you that makes you feel a certain way. You might think, well, isn't this the case for everyone? And the answer is no. 50% of the population live their lives on highs and lows that have nothing to do with what's actually going on in the world around them. It's like their background emotional setting goes up and down, where yours is steady. Non-emotionals are experts at picking up on what others are feeling. Because you don't have background emotions of your own, and because you are naturally supposed to be a calm lake, you can easily sense emotional ripples from the outside world. Let's say someone walks into the room and they are sad at a level 2 out of 10. You'll easily pick up on this and it will feel like a 6 to you because it's such a contrast to your normal state. Ideally, you want to use this as your spidey sense because picking up on other people's emotions can give you so much information, make you so tuned into the situation, and make you empathetic. You want to tune into what you're picking up on without taking it on yourself or letting it sway your own calmness. But often, non-emotionals either pick up on everything and take it on themselves, or they shut themselves off from even picking up any emotions in the first place. So, you either get called too emotional or not emotional enough. When a non-emotional is overly attached to feelings that come over them from the outside world, they mistake those feelings as being their own and end up coming across as very emotional themselves. So many non-emotionals get called emotional by other people in their life because they're simply reflecting and magnifying everything that they're picking up on. The trick is to detach yourself from what you pick up on. There's always a reason why you might feel what you feel. So when you feel thrown off your calm center, ask, where or who did I pick this up from? This helps you use what you're picking up on to become wise about what's going on in the world around you, whilst also creating some space between you and the emotion. Remember, you are not the emotion. In contrast, when a non-emotional has been taught to totally disconnect from feelings, it can make them feel very stoic and unemotional. To be clear, non-emotionals still have emotions, so it's important that they recognize those, and important that they tune into the emotions of others because it contains important information that's meant to make them wiser about life and about people. As a non-emotional, you can read people's states very well. Don't shut that gift off by believing that feeling is weak or bad. Sensing other people's emotions is a useful skill. When you're able to clearly read other people's states, you know when is a good time to be around them or not, say something or not, bring up the thing you wanted to say or not. You can also help them become more aware of how they're feeling. Remember that if someone is feeling that 2 out of 10 anger, they might not even be aware of it, whereas when you sense it in a 6 out of 10 way, you can be their mirror. Tuning into other people allows you to navigate relationships with those people in a much wiser way. Just to explain the contrast, emotionals often have poor visibility on how they're feeling, let alone how others are feeling, because they're so mired in their own feelings. It's often difficult to step out of them. They need non-emotionals like you to show them and help them navigate. Clarity is in the now. Since you are that clear lake, it's very easy for you to see things as they are. However, 50% of the world is emotional, meaning that their vision can be colored by the mood they're in, so they can't always see so objectively. With all the emotionals in your life, remember that they won't have clarity in the now moment. It's only when they've settled into a relatively neutral mood that they can see things as they are. So just remember that it takes them more time to be clear on their thoughts and feelings, even though it's easy for you. Emptying out. You're a sonar, picking up on so many things over the course of the day. In order to use this non-emotional gift properly, you need to be aware of all the signals you've absorbed from others over the course of the day so that you can flush them out and stay that clear sonar, unencumbered by emotional interference from the outside world. Whenever you feel thrown into some emotion or reaction, whenever you get frustrated or down or overly swept up in any emotion, whether high or low, remind yourself that it's just what you're experiencing because of your circumstances. It's not you. You're either picking up on other people's emotions, in which case they're not yours to hold on to, or you're feeling a certain way because a life situation has made you feel that, and that's completely normal. Either way, there's no need to attach yourself to those emotions so deeply. Create this separation in your mind of you and the feelings so that everything you pick up on doesn't stick around and continue to affect you. Let it wash over you and leave just as quickly as it came so that you can always return easily to your natural state without any extra stuff. We call this emptying out.